Okay, this is DragonofEternity and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. In the last video I finished up the tank world quest in Endwalker. So in this video I have only one world quest left to do. And that is the healer. So I'm on the white mage for the first couple of quests and then I'll switch over to the scholar. So let's see, Alamegan Delegate. Far from free. The Alamegan delegate to radz-at-han has grim news to convey. Oh boy. Are you ready to lend us your aid? I'll apprise you of the situation. Let's switch that to event. Oh. We have received reports of a creature believed to be a blasphemy stalking the streets of Alamigo. Troops have been assigned to track and slay the beast, but there are likely to be casualties. With most of our healers posted elsewhere, we had thought to petition you for aid. Sounds like you need better soldiers, not more healers, but if I must, I would be glad to help. Let's not be a socky asshole. At least not in this patch. Once again, we're in your debt. We shall inform Commander Aldin forthwith. My comrades in the Immortal Flames will be glad to have you watching over them. Or will be glad to have you watching over them. You see, as there's no sightings of any blasphemies in our lands, we have joined our Alamegan allies in their hunt for the fiend. Really, no blasphemies in the city where people are poor and get enslaved due to being poor? How the hell is there no blasphemy in Uldor? Seriously. Trouble is, the majority of our own healers are working day and night to treat the tempered Imperials captured at Pagalfan. For that reason, we too will be glad of your help. Your presence alone will be of great comfort to the troops, I'm sure. As time is of the essence, I ask that you make your way to the Alamegan quarter and report for duty. Commander Aldin is overseeing the hunt, and he will explain all upon your arrival. May Rolgur grant you strength. Aren't I going to fight him in 6.1? Yeah, I should really unlock that alliance raid. You guys say anything else? The Sultana wasted no time in extending the support of the flames to Alamigo when the blasphemy first reared its head. And it's a good thing she did. Alright. When you get to Alamigo, head to the square outside the palace. One of the soldiers stationed there will explain the rest. Okie dokie, Alamigo. Be the Alamegan quarter, right? Yeah. And then... would it be nice to see the map before I teleported? Yeah, it's just over there. Okay. Okie dokie. So right down here. Blasphemy Hunter. Mistress Grandini. We were told that you were on your way, but this is even quicker than expected. The joys of teleportation magic. I'll tell Commander Aldin you've arrived. One moment, please. Okie dokie. Glad you could join us. Hi, Raban. You think you could use a hand? Yeah, I instantly went for that joke. Now that the far greater crisis has been resolved, we may and must turn our undivided attention to matters of a smaller but no less deadly scale. Oh yeah, it's because I beat the MSQ. Aye, I'd like nothing more than to hear about your recent adventures, but I'm afraid such pleasantries will have to wait. Oh, hello. As our man in Favnir will have told you, a blasphemy is loose in Alamigo. What the hell is that model? When it first appeared, the city guard were able to get most of the bystanders to safety, and for a mercy, those caught in the chaos suffered only minor injuries. But the fiend managed to escape and has not been seen since. We must find it soon. For as long as it remains at large, every man, woman and child is at risk. As was the case in Favnia, the blasphemy's very existence seems to spur the creation of lesser beasts. The longer it is allowed to roam free, the more tragedy our people will suffer. Did anyone see the change take place? Aye, there were several eyewitnesses who gave the same account. A man walking through the Alamegan Quarter fell to his knees all of a sudden, and a moment later transformed into the monstrosity we now pursue. That sucks. But beyond the fact he was a young Highlander, we know next to nothing about him. Even the descriptions of his appearance are too vague to help identify the lad, and we've no clues as to his name or background. For all we know, he might not even been born in Alamigo. Might have been the son of refugees come to visit. There are other possibilities we're investigating now. That said, I doubt his circumstances are unique. Blasphemies and beasts are born when men are overcome by despair, and whatever drove him to turn likely could have done the same to another. Therefore, if we are to prevent further tragedies, it is imperative that we identify and address the underlying cause. Until we do, we'll have no choice but to deal with the afflicted the only way we know how. By granting them a quick death. For now, I would have you join the hunt and keep my men from falling prey to these creatures. Are you up to it? You have my thanks. But as chance would have it, we've just received word that a number of beasts were spotted on the outskirts of Alagana. The troops stationed there have already put them down, but were wounded in the process. First and foremost, they need medical attention, and that's where you come in. I'll meet you there. Alagana. Okay, it's a top run. Now, I think I may have seen some of this quest from a streamer. So, bits and pieces I'll probably figure out. But I don't think I saw the ending. Let's see, over here. It's not going to be Dust and Nyla. Rub on! Wounded fighter. It's my own damn fault for being so careless. What must Commander Aldin think of me? Knowing that they are who they were. Knowing what they are, who they were. Could any of us end up like that? Well, if you overcome by despair or poo-poo. Although the soldiers were able to lead the beasts away from the village and kill the lot of them, the victory did not come easily. It's times like these that our lack of healers is most sorely felt. I dare say they've yet to receive any treatment at all. See to their wounds while I survey the area for any stragglers that may have escaped. Once I've completed my patrol, I'll head to the village to gather eyewitness reports. Look for me thereafter. I am not reading sentences well today. No. Alright. What do you need? Alright, I'm just right-clicking them to heal. I saw them change right before my eyes. Those weren't monsters I killed, but innocent men. Yeah. But it had to be done. There were others we had to protect. And thanks to you, I can continue to do just that. Once I've made my way back, I'll give a full account. The families, they'll understand. Will they? Will they? Gods be good, I feel reborn. Hold on, you're Marishna Grandini, aren't you? I can't believe it. You're the one who inspired me to join the resistance in the first place. I am so sorry. And now you've come to save me in my hour of need. I'll never forget this. Thank you, thank you. Okie dokie, speak to Robon. So, over here. Oh, hello, Arenvold. It was good of you to come all this way, for I never doubted for a moment like you wouldn't. Hey, you're wheelchair bound. After the events of 5.5. Yep, that's a thing. After all you've done for the people of Garabania, we couldn't ask for more, and yet, here you are. Yep. Rub on! For treating the wounds of those soldiers you have my thanks, and theirs too, no doubt. It seems they were indeed successful in slaying all the beasts. If my search is any indication, but we must remain vigilant. I have also spoken with several people who witnessed the moment of the transformation, though the ordeal has understandably left them rather shaken. I hear you've been through a fair few ordeals yourself. Yep, you could say that. You could say that. As for me, I've been kept busy with this and that and that. Like getting the hang of this wheelchair. Obviously it has its limitations, but it gets me where I need to go. Have you been to the Garland Ironworks? They could probably fit you out with some boosters. I've been working with this new organisation as well, which is what brought me here, but no sooner had I arrived than those locals turned. Raganfrid, I heard you were there when it happened. What can you tell us? The ones who underwent the change are the very people we are trying to help. Perhaps I should explain from the beginning. The meeting Lys held in the Royal Palace marked a turning point for all in Garabania. It spurred us to open a dialogue with peoples and communities we otherwise would have shunned. But there are still so many problems to be addressed and countless souls struggling to build new lives for themselves. I decided to form a volunteer group, the Silver Griffins. Our main concern is the welfare of Alamegans who sided with the Empire, for whatever reason, and helping them find their place in society. In particular, the surviving families of the Crania Lupi. Alright, those guys. I thought you despised the skulls, you've changed your tune. Make no mistake, I've not forgiven them. I don't have that in me, and I doubt I ever will, but the memory of that day in the palace, of Ordola asking to be locked up again after saving us all, it stayed with me. Got me thinking about why she and the other youths would commit such atrocities, why they'd swear to serve the Empire, and the answer was simple, because they'd seen what we'd seen, and suffered much the same. In a hell where we are all condemned, they chose to betray one brother to save another. That's how the Garleans win, not by breaking you, but by making you break yourself. By making that choice the right one for a man at the end of his tether. Healing only begins with liberation, and some scars never will regardless. Those who've returned from foreign lands may have difficulty carving out a living here, but the ones who pledged allegiance to Garlemald... This is not the Alamego we dreamed of. But after 20 years of misery, I'll not see it all thrown away because we can't come to terms with the past. That's why I formed the Silver Griffins, to see that no one is cast aside. It's a cause I support, and it's what brought me here today. I've been acting as a mediator. Aye, and in the short time he's been with us, he's proven himself a natural. But despite our early successes, the families of the Skulls continue to refuse our help. I think I see where this is leading. They're the ones who turned, yes. It comes as no surprise that kin tormented and murdered fellow Alamegans. Anyone for conscience would feel shame and guilt, and for some reason, and for some, it might be too much to bear. I think I might know why they're turning us away. It's a sensitive matter though, so let's go somewhere we won't be overheard. Okay, where are we going? Ah. It's about one of the men who turned. I saw his memories. Ah, good old Echo. With the Echo. I'll not pretend I understand it, but tell us what you learned. I only caught a glimpse, but that was enough. It was during the occupation, a man raising his son. Only the two of them, but they were a family. To keep his boy clothed and fed, he chose to side with the Empire. He knew what others would say, but he did it anyway. And so he was branded a traitor. Every day, his son listened to the jeering, the insults, but there was nothing he could do. When he came of age, he joined the Skulls in the hope it would make life easier for his father. He never dared to question his orders, no matter how depraved. He died in the revolution, but not before killing his own countrymen. His father wept not for the betrayer and murderer, but for the man he could have been. He blamed it all on himself, right up until the change took him. I can only pray he and his boy have finally found peace they were denied in life. Alas, theirs is an all too familiar tale. They cannot forgive themselves, nor can they see how anyone else could. The sins of their kin weigh heavy upon them. They think themselves undeserving of our compassion. If they carry on like that, they'll turn into beasts. We've got to help them before it's too late. Growing up half Garlean in Alamigo, I know how it feels to be shunned and hated. To hate myself. But as long as we give ourselves and others a chance, we can change for the better. And while I might not be as clever or eloquent as someone like Alphino, I know I can make a difference. I might not be quite the swordsman I used to be, but I'm still a fighter at heart, and I owe it to Abba and Oli to make the most of this life so long as I've got it. We Silver Griffins will give our all to see that no more beasts or blasphemies ravage Girabanya again. So, Commander Aldin, do we have your approval to continue our work? Of course, there's no enemy more formidable than despair, and I'd be a fool to refuse your help. That even a single one of our people has succumbed to this transformation is proof of our failure to protect them. Therefore, I pledge the Silver Griffins my unconditional support. Together, we will prevail. Now that we have my rationale on hand to aid the troops, I believe we are ready to face any beasts we encounter. For I fear it is only a matter of time before others appear. I ask that you lend the Silver Griffins your assistance in the meantime. Very good. For now, let's return to the city. I guess he's being pushed downhill. Yeah, I guess he is. Okay, so that's the first quest done. Lovely. 1 down, 5 to go. Speaker of Roban. All the way down here. Those who harbour guilt do so not because they are weak or of heart, but because they have failed to meet the demands they make of themselves. 'Twas the same for me when I believed that my failures had led to the Sultana's assassination. The despair and self-loathing were indescribable. I was fortunate that you and the other scions came to my rescue, that I had friends who convinced me I was more than the sum of my worst mistakes. Now we must do the same for the people of Alamigo. We must help them to heal and find the strength to, if not forgive, then come to terms with who we were, so that we can look to who we can be, who we should aspire to be. This is precisely why the work of the Silver Griffins is so vital. Though our problems are not new, the emergence of this deadly phenomenon means we cannot afford to delay addressing them any longer, and we will be better for it ultimately. Once we've decided a course of action, you'll be the first to know. Until then, may Rolga watch over and keep you. Yeah, about that. Next one, the Butcher's Blade. Level 86. The struggle to prevent the emergence of beasts grows increasingly desperate. We were hoping you'd stop by. I'll show you to Commander Aldin at once. The Butcher's Blade. So, for Dola, I imagine. Yeah, she was called the Butcher. You're welcome sight as always. And a lot's happened since we last spoke. We Silver Griffins have been keeping busy. As have I and my men, but I'm afraid we've little to show for our efforts. Although we've been searching high and low for the blasphemy, we've seen neither hide nor hair of it. Unfortunately, everyone else has had better luck. We've seen reports of lesser beasts throughout Yerabanya, and bringing them down is as important as hunting the blasphemy that got away. To complicate matters, rumours have been circulating that these beasts were the Skull's kin. While this was true of the recent incident in Alagana, we can't have people jumping to conclusions, given what they might feel tempted to do. It has been suggested that we take these individuals into custody, for their own protection as much as the safety of others, but that would only isolate them even further and give credence to the rumours. The recent unrest has hindered the efforts of the Silver Griffins to no end. Therefore, I ask that you aid them in their endeavours, and see if there is aught that can be done. Also, you'll be joined by another volunteer. Try not to be too surprised. I thought I felt my ears burning. Hello, Fordola. How you doing, hon? I see you've still got that bomb necklace on. I said I don't need a keeper, but did they bloody listen? Did they, bollocks? Come on, don't be like that. This is what you agreed to. Besides, you never know when you might have need of a healer. And there's none better than Mariashna. Really, I can think of at least two. One of them is Zonde. He's right. You've earned a measure of trust, but this shouldn't be taken to mean otherwise. Thick as thieves, are we now? Then there's no need for this sodding collar, aye? We all know it's not coming off any time soon. But if this is how it's to be, then fine, so long as she keeps out of my way. I want the two of you to visit the Silver Griffin's headquarters in Alagana. Several relatives of the Crania Lupi have agreed to meet with them, and we could do with a measure of precaution. Are you sure it's wise getting the Butcher of the Crania Lupi to go see the relatives of the Crania Lupi that died? This is seconds before disaster. If anyone so much as mentions the Skulls, I'll deal with it. Understood? Yes, as an ex-leader of the Skulls. Let's get this over with. Again, are you sure this is a good idea? She's as much at risk of turning as anyone else. Maybe even more so. You don't need the Echo to see the weight she's carrying. She's still not got a handle of her own echo either. Well, maybe she should try talking to Kryl since they have the same echo. Maybe get some tips from Kryl. You know? Sometimes the visions come without warning, and with such force that it's all she can do to stay standing. There's no telling what might happen when she comes face to face with the family of her former comrades. So look out for her, please. Again, this is a terrible idea. I wish there was more I could do for her myself. Aw, shipping. But we've all got our own duties, and I'll see them through to the end. So must we all. Follow Fordola's lead. We're counting on you both. But be ready to step in, even if she curses you for it. Okie dokie. Alagana, back to Alagana. Teleport to Alagana. Raganford, do you have any new dialogue? I'll admit this is not quite what I had in mind. Mood. Dots. I had a feeling Roban would send you, Marshta, but as for her... If you've got any complaints, take it up with the commander. No, it's fine. Truth be told, ever since that day at the Royal Palace, I've been thinking, stop. You don't want to say it, and I don't want to hear it. To the matter at hand, then. We Silver Griffins have been working to support the relatives of the Cranialupi. But one family has gone missing, a mother and her parents, who lived together under the same roof. One of ours paid them a visit, but they were nowhere to be seen, and when they went inside to check, they found the house had been torn to shreds. Thick gouges in the floor and the walls, made by a beast's claw by the look of them. You think they've turned? Aye. That's the most likely explanation. Please do what you must before anyone else is hurt. There's no time to waste. I'll head west, you head east. Alright, you're going without the designated healer. Sure. Arnvold tells me she's been trying to make amends in her own way. I appreciate that she's not asking for what I can't give, but I keep thinking to myself, where do we go from here? And honestly, I don't know. Okay, so to the east to take out some enemies on my own. Was this place used for anything? I can't think of anything it would have been used for. Maybe there was a fate here or an event? Who knows. Alright, destination, survey the location and defeat any enemies. I should have probably switched my chocobo to a tank. Oh well. Fellbeast. Glare. 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 Holy. Yeah, I'm not very good at using a healer class. That's getting down slowly but surely. Ba-boom. Crumpled letter. In the dirt you spy an envelope containing a crumpled, tear-stained letter. Read the letter, sure. Dear Mother, I hope this letter finds you well. Time is short, so I must keep this brief. Although I have never done anything to make you proud, I promise you things will be different when the war is over. Until then, take care, and know that I love you with all my heart. Placing the letter back into its envelope, you turn your attention to finding the others. I can only imagine who that was from. Let's see, over here? Downwards. By the sprite. Tell you what, before I do that... Companion... Summon... Summon... Defender stance. Get a bit of food going, and I should be good. Fell Beast. I should probably check my moves and see what I can actually use. That'd be good to have. Creates barrier. Confession, Restore, Magic Potency, reduces damage, a size. That'd be nice to use. Okie dokie, so that's Time-Worn Wedding Ring, or Ring. You discover what appears to be a wedding ring with a name and date engraved on the inside. With seemingly no more clues to be found, you decide to report to radz-at-han. Hello, Fedola. What's done is done. Were you able to find anything? Yeah, a letter and a wedding ring. Then it is as we feared. I found and killed a third. It was carrying this. A matching ring. I'll deliver these effects to the next of kin and arrange for a funeral. Or as close to one as possible under the circumstances. Dots. There's no changing the past. We'll always carry it, and the scars. But no matter who we were or what we did, we're Alamegans, then and now. The Empire was our enemy then, and now it's despair. Good words and deeds will serve us best in this fight. Weapons even an old man like me can yet wield. I should probably get a drink. Yeah, my throat's starting to go a little bit. Okay, thanks to the two of you, the missing villagers may finally be laid to rest. I and the other Silver Griffins will redouble our efforts to prevent any further tragedies. And let's have a little drink real quick. Okay, hopefully that helps the throat a little bit. I finished checking the wares, sir. Everything's in order. Good work. Take a rest, lad. You've more than earned it. Keep this to yourself, but Everett's younger brother was a member of the Crania Lupi. He's exactly the sort of person we're trying to help. Like many of the others, he was reluctant to talk to us at first, but after we'd gained his trust, we were able to help him find work. He's taken to it well. It's her! The Butcher! Traitors, all of us. Kinslayers deserving of hate and death. Hate and death! Get back! Get back! Shit. Again, who thought bringing Fadola here was a good idea? Good thing you're protected by your floating shield. Stay away from her! Fadola saved your girl's life! I know, but she's... It happened in an instant. That poor lad. But it had to be done, and without hesitation. We would have been much worse otherwise. Could you go after Fadola and see to her wounds? I'll do what I can here. Wow. Really bringing your hatred on to the next generation, aren't you, woman? She risked her life to save my daughter. Whatever else she may have done, I owe her for that. I want to say thank you to the brave lady for rescuing me. Do you think I'll see her again? I hope so. Sheesh. Where are you? Speak with Fadola. I'm fine. Leave me be. You got slashed in the back. I said I don't need your help. I'm a healer, let me do my job. Gods, you're like a dog with a bone. Go on and make it quick. Ay, 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 ay. A coil can't change its spots, and there's no washing the blood off my hands. Nor would I, even if I could. Taking up Garlean steel was the first choice, but not the last. Like the first kill, the hardest. Every choice after that came easier and easier, until I stopped counting, stopped caring. You tell yourself it's right, it's for the greater good. You give the order, feel the ground trembles as the cannons fire, and when the dust settles, and your own men are buried beneath the rubble, and you tell yourself, me too. Ah! I won't let it take you. That man in the village. I saw his past. I'm the one who killed his brother. I'll be alright. I just need a moment. Can you wait with me? Yes. He would have been at the castrum when she fired the cannon. He was one of the men she killed. Everything the Skulls fought for, the sacrifices we made, the things we did, in the end, it was all for nothing. Sometimes I look back on the road I walked, and the bitterness I can still taste, and I wonder, if I had grown up in another time, another place, would I have done the same to a different people? Was it always in me to be me? All I know is, everyone would have been better off if I had never been born. That's harsh. But I was, and I dragged others into a hell of my own making. I remember these two brothers in particular. Childhood friends of mine. The older one enlisted with me, but the younger, he never would have made it as a soldier. He was too kind. Too good. Ansfred died at Specula Imperatoris, but his brother's still out there somewhere. Not that I've got the courage to face him after what I did. I hope he's found a life he deserves. I met a former skull called Rudolph. I know a young man who survived the fall of Specula Imperatoris. Are these if you've done the... What is it? It's the Monago custom deliveries. If you get to a certain level, you meet an NPC's wife who is being looked after by a former skull. Rudolph? He's alive? But how? I'm glad he made it out, but too many others didn't. Too many others still need our help. I helped make this blasphemy, and by Rolga, I'll kill the bastard if it's the last thing I do. Anyway, that's enough out of me. I'll be heading back to the city to make my report. I suggest you do likewise. Wow, that's a heavy quest. And those two are gone. We're not living a song or a fairy tale. These problems we struggle with won't be solved overnight. Nevertheless, we've got to do what we can to move forward as a people united, or we'll have to keep dealing with tragedies like this. Yeah. Alright. I feel like I should end this video here after this quest. Probably. Let's see, all the way down here. Robon. Welcome back. Verdola's already given her account and I'd like to hear yours too. So she almost turned into a beast herself. We'll have to take that into consideration before sending her into the field again. As far as the events in Alagana are concerned, the two of you did well. Despite the appearance of several beasts, you were able to prevent any further casualties. However, this serves to confirm that those with connections to the Crania Lupi should be considered at risk of turning. Over the years, many of them have drifted away from the larger settlements and have taken to living in secret. Others made their way to Uldar as refugees, including some individuals of interest. As such, we'll be working closely with the Immortal Flames to locate and offer support to those refugees in particular. In fact, I plan to make the journey there for an audience with the Sultana. Once my preparations are complete, perhaps you might accompany me. I'm sure she'll be glad to see you. I'm sure she will. And that is the second quest out of 6 done. A new battlefield. A quest to protect vulnerable Alamegans leads to Uldar. Okie dokie. So I think with that, I'm going to end this video here. This has been DragonofEternity, going through more Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. In this video, I started going through the Healer Role Questline in Endwalker. So I've seen a person turn, and yeah, it's a brutal situation that Fordola is in. If I remember, her parents sided with the Empire. Then her father got stoned to death in the streets while trying to protect Fordola. And that ended up convincing her to join the Skulls, which, yeah, you've got a brutal force in an occupied territory, which never goes well. And then the events of Stormblood happened. Yeah, so next time I guess I'll be going to Uldar to see if we can help any of the refugees that are there. So, with that planned out, viewers, my rambling hopefully now finally done. Until next time.